Hello, everyone. Today I'll be discussing whether Texas should continue requiring unanimous jury verdicts in misdemeanor cases, or if it should join other states that allow convictions by a majority vote. I'll go over the arguments for both sides, share my opinion, and then finish with a few questions that I think deserve some more future research. So I have the first slide, unanimous, with four bullet points. Jurors' opinions matter. Detailed investigations encourages a full, fair hearing. And then a quote from the textbook that says, because the jury serves as the conscience of the community and speaks for society in considering a defendant's fate, it is important that efforts be made to ensure that the jury represents the community for which it is speaking. And this slide is kind of more unanimous citing, and then I'll get into the other slides of what majority votes are, and I guess my full conclusion. But this slide by itself is me still kind of agreeing that we should keep it. And I think one reason I think Texas should keep unanimous verdicts is because every juror's opinion matters. If even one juror has a reasonable doubt, I think that that concern shouldn't be simply ignored. And I guess this just goes back to the textbook of it saying, because the jury serves as a conscience of the community, speaks for society. I guess this just emphasizes more that every single juror's opinion should matter. And I mean, again, it's just like when we're having all these people's like lives and like, well, speaking if I'm a jury in the jury, it's like if we have all these people's lives in our hands, why not take the time or the extra steps or the extra court dates just to ensure that we're making the right decision? Because again, that's the whole point of like a jury, I guess, to have diversity within it, perspectives from all over. And I mean, it could go on to this full thing about how we spoke on the last journal, or journal number 4, where how efficient juries are really without having much proper information on courts and stuff like that. We'll leave that for over there. And then I have the second one, majority. So faster sentence turnarounds, less hung juries, less court days needed, less retrials. Most voted side speaks for the case. And then I have a quote from the textbook as well. Requiring unanimity as opposed to a substantial majority verdict 10-2 does not necessarily improve the accuracy of jury verdicts and cost the taxpayer significant expense and necessary retrials. And so while there are also good arguments for allowing majority verdicts, they can make trials move faster, right? Reduce the number of hung juries and save time and money by avoiding retrials. The textbook does point out that requiring unanimity does not always improve the accuracy of verdicts and can increase costs for the court system. And I guess, like I was saying with my last slide, it's like the extra day or 2 days or handful of extra court dates really matter when it comes to sentencing somebody, which could potentially be to like, long sentencing times, and that life, those years you can never get back. Those are years missed from, family members and stuff like that. So you really gotta like put that into perspective and think of everything as a whole, rather than just like, like whatever most people say is right, or whatever gives me the faster outcome, I'll take that. You know what I mean? I feel like when these specific things, we should take our time with it. Which leads into my fourth slide for my opinion, which I already stated in slide 1, but Texas should keep unanimous verdicts. One juror's doubt within the trial speaks volume. So like I said, different perspectives around different lives and stuff like that. Like a small confusion between a juror that doesn't agree with everybody else should be taking the time with to deal and make sure everything's clarified and everything is how it should be. And like I said right now, fairness over speed. I mean, the time shouldn't really matter when we're dealing with someone's life and their sentencings. And then it says, like I said, the last one, careful with the person's life and hands. I mean, if this was anybody that you knew or something like that, you would want the perfect like all around fair trial, you know. If there's any confusion, for it to be cleared up rather than pushed off and um taking the bigger side. I think that it's worth taking the extra time to make sure every juror agrees beyond a reasonable doubt. I think fairness and accuracy, like I've been saying, is more important than speed. And this leads to my last slide for the research. We could for sure compare the two between majority and unanimous. How many incorrect convictions do they average? Again, within like a certain time period, 5, 10 years, doesn't matter. Something that we can use all year round as information. And then the second one is what side tends to give out the harsher punishment, which I guess in some cases would benefit somebody. I guess informing themselves on like court stuff for the future. I guess incorrect convictions goes in with accuracy a little bit. I mean, how accurate are both sides when it comes to sentencing people and coming to a decision? And then just like the public's thought on both, like the way that we're doing this assignment and we're giving our own opinion, like I would wonder like bigger state votes, or you know what I mean, like, so like what does everyone think of this? I think it would be pretty interesting to know like their sides and perspectives and everything like that, because in the end, I mean, just like the jury, all lives, different perspectives, different opinions. I think it would be nice to know.